What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of Battin and Chattin with your hosts, Brandon Natali, and your other hosts, Nicholas A. File and Dennis Tui. Fellas, how are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm just chilling out, doing my thing. Yankees won today and yesterday, so I'm chilling, man.
First
Mm.
series win since the beginning of the month, man. Definitely a little refreshing, but I can't believe we're already on Return of the Jedi for episode 6 here of Bad and Chatted. Episode
I like
six
that.
episodes in, boys. It's flying
Uh,
by.
can I call that for when we get to the Last Jedi?
Oh boy, no
Mm,
Star Wars references for episode 8.
Yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Remember this?
I think Star Wars fans can agree out there. But yeah, like Dennis said, Yankees won. I'm having a good night, Brandon. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Life's good. Fam's good. Everybody, doing the podcasting with my boys. Very thankful. Um, I wish the Mets could be doing better, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot to talk about there, but we're not going to we're going to dive into a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about in terms of the Yankees, the Mets, the baseball world, Luis Arias, the Reds. They're making some noise.
Reds are
Um,
killing it,
you
man.
know, top prospects, aka Bo Naylor and Henry Davis, finally get the call up to the majors. Michael Harris is a guy that's been on fire after having a cold start to the 2013 season. And we're definitely going to show our love to one of our favorite players, Shohei Ohtani. So, potential Met or Yankee, or probably a Dodger in all reality. And yeah, just definitely a lot to go on. And we will be talking about our votes for the All Star game this season, this upcoming July.
Yeah,
Mm.
Can't wait.
it's a loaded day.
And I got a
Loaded
strawberry
day.
smoothie.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your boys' picks about the All Star game. That I'm looking very forward to. A lot of good options. A lot of good options this year. A lot of
There's a.
names.
Sorry, continue.
A lot of names that back in March and April, I was like, wow, didn't think I would see on here, but excited to talk about that with you guys. Let's do it.
Mhm.
Mm. All right.
Yeah,
Um. So I think let's get the Mets out of the way quick because it's the Mets. I still love them. I gotta say, first off, this is a nice hat. I saw this on Fanatics, and I had to get it. I don't know
it
You just
looks
got it
good.
recently.
what.
You just got it recently.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Nice. Well,
Something
that's
Looking
not
about it.
bad.
good.
I
Looking
had to
good.
get it. You know,
It's crisp.
right? There you go. So that's a good way to start off the Mets topic. Pete Alonso, he came back. He beat that. He literally was the definition of a 10-day IL injured list. Came back within 11 days. I mean, not 10, but 11. Like when his timetable was supposed to be like 3 to 4 weeks. That's to me, that's insane. Now I know he had a bone bruise and a left sprain, and a sprain in his left wrist. Now the timetable, yeah, like I said, the timetable was like 3 to 4 months, and now realistically, when they say 4 weeks, no, not 3 to 4 months. I meant 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
My apologies. The timetable honestly say he would come back 4 weeks. Still would take a week and a half to recover. Go to rehab a bit, and then play a couple games down in the minors. But he beat it, so good for him.
Yeah.
Daniel Vogelback, guy's red hot. He was red hot today against the Astros. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Oh, I was watching the whole game. I mean, he went off. So I'm curious if he's gonna still draw the ire of New York Mets fans after hitting a couple of home runs yesterday, right? Was it? He had three
Um,
RBIs today, three hits today, one run, and five at bats.
I know today he
Yeah.
had today he had himself a monster game. He was 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, and he didn't have a home run today.
No.
But in terms
No,
of
he didn't. I thought he did, and then I
Yeah.
looked.
So it was Monday the 19th. He had a home run, and then his first
That's
game back against St. Louis, the 16th, had a home run. So
right,
he's hey, since his return on the 16th, he's piling up some numbers, man. Good for him.
Yeah, he did have he had a home run on Monday. Yes.
Yep.
Now in terms of yesterday, let's see. Yesterday no, it was Canna and Escobar that got the RBIs, the runs driven in. But yeah, I mean, Showalter gave him a week off. Looks like he needed it, and we look at him now. He's playing like everyone was hoping he would play like when Billy Epler made the trade for him last year in the deadline. So good for him.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Met fans were calling for his head. Don't mean that violently. Obviously, I mean that phrase. It's exaggeration, but people were calling for him to be designated. Luckily, people, the Mets stayed patient, gave him some time off, and he's doing good so far. Now, would I vote him to the All-Star game? It's a little bit of a fetch,
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
That's crazy. How could you not? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, he struggled mightily to begin the season, and hopefully he can keep this hot streak going. I'm sure Brandon will remember, and I'm sure a lot of Met fans will remember, when he first went to the Mets last year, he was red hot.
Yeah.
He started very well for you guys.
Yeah.
So hopefully that he can get some of that action going. But, I'm looking right now, and it says the Mets lost 10-8 today. I watched the game, and again, the bullpen blew it. The bullpen blew it. This was all in the pitching. You score 8 runs, you got to win.
Yeah, no,
Got to win. The Astros have been 19th in weighted runs created plus in the league. This offense has been struggling without Yordan Alvarez. Michael Brantley hasn't played a second this season. Mauricio Dubon, what was he doing last year? Jeremy Pena's had a slow start to the season. No, I'm serious. Like, a lot of these guys, none of these guys aren't household names, right? Yeah, you have Altuve. Yeah, you have Kyle Tucker. But a lot of the guys that they were relying on haven't really been holding up their end of the deal. And then today they just absolutely mashed the New York Mets because the pitching blew it. McGill didn't have a great start by any means. Don't get it twisted. He had a bad start, quite frankly.
Yep.
He had how many walks? He walked the whole ballpark basically. He had 4 walks, 5 hits. 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. I mean, that's crazy. And then they bring in Dominic Leone, who gets the loss, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 home runs. Not only did you lose 10-8, but you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relievers, 5 pitchers. So, I've made a few comments about it every week about the mileage they're putting on some of these guys this early, and that problem's not being solved.
Yeah,
Is
I
Drew
agree.
Smith really going to be their savior, who's serving that suspension for the tack? Is he going to be their savior when he comes back? It's Drew frickin' Smith, not Lee Smith. I mean, come on.
Or
I'm
Will
sorry, but come on.
Bruce Smith.
How much
And
stock are you going to put into him?
I also think it's worth noting that this was also an Astros team that's been kind of cold in the month of June. I mean, and they were beating up on the Mets like this. I mean, the Astros got swept by the Blue Jays. They lost the Guardians series. They beat the Nationals, they beat the Nationals, but that's really nothing to be too proud about. Also got swept by the Reds on their crazy win streak. And then they kind of just been tooling with the Mets last 2 games of that series. I mean, granted, the Mets poured 11 runs on them in game 1, but it's a cold Astros team. Like you said, Dennis, they're missing some key guys, They're still the Astros, but, they're not the 2017 Astros. They're not the 2022 Astros that we were so used to last year. It's just kind of rough for the Mets right now. That's it. That bullpen
I
totally
think
melting down.
I agree. I mean, but the pitching, I feel like every year with the Mets, it's definitely something that's always an issue. Whether, there'll be one year they'll have the pitching, but then they can't hit. They'll have the hitting, but then they can't pitch. It's year after year of constant problems going on, and the Mets just can't seem to find a way to patch all those holes all at once. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I get it. I think the bullpen is definitely gassed out. They've been, you guys said, Dennis, you said it today. They were used 5 pitchers, and how many, I think the Diaz injury definitely hurt them. It just doesn't show because, like I said, the startup, like I've said it for a long time, Diaz was supposed to be the closer. Then you had Ottavino or Robinson in the 7th and the 8th, which way or another, you can name it, or another reliever. Like I don't think Jeff Brigham or Josh Walker or even Tommy Hunter. I don't think they would have been used as much. Granted, like I said, you can't use David Robinson out of every single night, but that was the expectation. So I think they just need to find a way to manage the workload on them, and it's tough because when your pitchers are going 2 1/3 of innings, a game, you're gonna have to go to the bullpen. It's and I don't know McGill. He's been good. I've liked him. Like he started off great this year. He's had a lot of inconsistent starts. There's days he'll look good. Like last Friday, he looked good against the Cardinals, and then he got shelled today against the Astros. And they've been red hot. But people don't forget. People keep forgetting they went to the World Series last year. But this year, like you guys said, they are missing some key guys. But to me, I think the Astros, the Mets, no matter what, they weren't hitting Jordan. Um, they weren't getting to him. The guys pitching like a 2.27 ERA. The Mets were just not getting to him on Tuesday. It just wasn't possible. And if they did, hey, good for them. But when the guys won the AL Cy Young last year, and he's in line to win it again this year, and the Mets aren't going to hit him. So I give them credit. I would have loved if they would have pulled 2 out of 3. It just didn't happen. I don't know. The Mets just need to find ways to win games, and until they do that, a lot of people are going to be questioning this team. A lot of people saying now I saw a report today, forgot where, but they brought up something by Joel Sherman of the New York Post. I believe it's New York Post. And they were saying that the Mets is kind of stuck in the middle. Do they sell or they don't really have the farm system to they were saying they might not have really the farm system necessary. But I don't know. I'm not giving up on the Mets yet, but this is not good. That I haven't really been taking the series. The series is that taking one, they're either getting swept or taking 1 out of 3, heck, 1 out of 4. I don't know. This is just I don't know. That's all I gotta say. And at least I'm not throwing my phone like I'm Frank the Tank, but that's just my honest reaction from the Mets. What do you guys think?
Look, you had brought it up the Edwin Diaz injury, and I've said it every single week now. I sound like a broken record. If your entire season was going to come down to a closer, you were never close to begin with. That's just how I look at it. I remember last year Mark DeRosa said on MLB Network after Matt Carpenter got hurt for the Yankees, he said, if your season was going to come down to Matt Carpenter, you're not going to be close to winning a championship. And that's
Right.
ultimately what happened. And I feel the same way. I mean, it's a closer. How many closers have been good closers on bad teams? Do you know what I mean? Like there's it's just like it's such an important position, but it's also not really important because it depends on so many different variables.
Exactly. Like
And
if, you-
and
if
oh, I'm sorry, continue.
yeah, if you're a great team, you shouldn't have to be in so many save situations, like game in, game out. Like it's a big blow. Don't get me wrong. Like it is a big blow, but it's not championship or not type big
Yeah.
blow. Like, yeah, I see what you're
Right.
saying. Totally, Dennis. I agree. I mean, look, the Mets roster, man, when healthy, Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, Starlin Marte. I mean,
On paper, it looks great.
on paper, it's great. And,
Yeah.
the bullpen, like we said, it's taxed already. These guys are older, blowing games. I mean, like we just said, the Mets just put up, 8 runs on the Astros? Like, got to win that. That's all on the pitching right there. I mean, the offense did their part.
Yeah,
But
no, I agree.
it's just a really disappointing team this season. That's for
And
sure.
and they don't have that innings eater. They don't have that guy that could go 7 innings or 8 innings. God forbid with this team.
Yeah.
It's like, and so let's try and solve the problem. Do they get a Michael Lorenzen at the deadline from Detroit or his rotation mate Eduardo Rodriguez? Like there's guys out there that can get. Last week we were talking about Marcus Stroman should probably be available,
Yep.
or maybe Drew Smiley or some of these other guys on teams that are kind of rudderless and trying to
Did
get
I
him.
just
Obviously,
hear what I thought you heard?
hold on. I know exactly what you're thinking. I'm not saying Marcus Stroman is going to go back to the Mets. That's the last thing that's going to happen. But there's going to be guys that are available, and I think they need to take a long look at it. Just because, like, David Robertson's not bad. Adam
Yeah.
Ottavino, I don't think is bad. The problem is if you keep going to these guys this early, it becomes a problem later on in the season, and it's one of the oldest problems in baseball. An overtaxed pitching staff. I
Yep.
mean, you could go back, you could pick a year, and you could find a team. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see how it's going to play out. I think a lot of the lineup was getting a lot of flack for a long time, and I said it last week. I don't think it was the lineup. I really don't. This team's got to pitch better. Simple as that. It's a lot simpler said than done, but that's the crux of the problem. Got to pitch better. And I know people have killed Buck over some of his bullpen decisions, but what's he going to do? I mean, like these guys, they're constantly put in no-win situations just because they got to get to them early. I mean, the best thing that could happen to the Mets right now is a complete game from one of their pitchers. Win, lose, or draw, a complete game. Just
Yeah.
because you need to reshuffle the deck. You gotta. So for the millionth time, Daniel Bard to the New York Mets, make it happen. I would love that decision for them. I would love that decision for the Mets.
We got to start hashtagging that and then just
hashtag Daniel Bard to the Mets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. It just makes too much sense.
Right.
So,
All right. I think that basically, the Cubs and the Mets right there. Now shift over to the New York Yankees, the other team on the other side of the New York City, over in the Bronx, and everywhere else, even in Boston, because that's where they just were. Now they're back
Yeah.
home for a series against the Seattle Mariners and now the Texas Rangers, which I might be going to the game Sunday.
ooh.
Honestly,
Hopefully the weather is on your side because I'm supposed to be going Saturday, but according to this forecast, whoa boy, might have to pack a poncho and an umbrella. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Yankees got swept by the Red Sox. I mean, pretty easy to forget right there. That was just depressing to watch.
right, sorry about
That's all I
that.
gotta say about that. I'll start crying if I dive more
Mm.
deep into that. But onto bigger and better things, yes. The Yankees are definitely looking better as of now versus Seattle. But Carlos Rodon, looking pretty solid in his rehab starts. I gotta say, I mean, if the version of Rodon I think we're gonna get comes through, could be a huge difference maker. Not that pitching was necessarily the biggest problem with this team, but yeah, I mean, look, after that sweep by Boston, I think it's only up from here at this point when it comes to my depression from the past few games. But I think it's only up from here. So
Mm.
Garrett Cole just had a gem for Seattle. I mean, I think that might have put a spark under the Yankees' butts. Harrison Bader's back. That guy is a total spark. Wherever early in the season we saw it when he came back, he's back again. Yankees look a little bit more alive. Rizzo's heating up again. I think we're trending in the right direction.
Okay. Dennis, what do you guys say?
This Mariners series is definitely a get right series. They have to close it out tomorrow. They have to sweep for a few reasons. One, you just got swept by Boston. They're gaining on you in the standings. It's the gap between them and the other teams in the NL East is not wide. They're third, but even the gap around the wild card is narrowing in. Season ended today. They would be in the playoffs, but still they're only a few games ahead of the Angels. They're half game ahead of the Angels and a few ahead of the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. So you got to get the sweep. Especially Garrett Cole pitched great game one. They got to Luis Castillo early today,
Yes.
who's been the thorn in their side since he's gone to Seattle, really.
Yep.
And he beat them what 3 times last year, didn't he?
Yes, something like
Something like
that.
that.
Yes. Yes.
So you get to him, or maybe it was 3 times total. One with the Reds, whatever. He beat them a bunch. Every time he's seen them, he's destroyed them. So you get to him early, you beat him, you win tonight 4-2. Johnny Brito had a great game, and
Yeah.
just a solid game. And game two, a solid game in game one. Now is when you got to get the momentum, man.
Yep.
We've been saying without Judge, this team isn't really that good. Billy McKinney stepped up today. Jake Bowers stepped up. These guys are
Volpe.
trying.
Volpe hit a
Volpe had
bomb
a
to.
shot.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. Now someone's got to step up here, and it's really been. I like to call them the killer bees. I mean, Bowers and Billy McKinney, man. Those two. I saw a graphic. It was all the Yankees like hidden stats since the Judge injury, and those two, when it comes to OPS and batting average, Bowers and McKinney, man, those two have been the best overall Yankees hitters the last couple of weeks. And I mean, they're keeping us in it. And I mean, that AL wild card race, man, it is no joke. And like you said, Houston, Angels, Blue Jays, Boston, all right there. The team reverser right now, Seattle. They're only 4.5 out. If they get hot, they're right in the mix too. So it's a long season, yes, but I think for the Yankees' sake, every game counts right now. You got to win every single game, even if you want a chance at the division. But right now, I'm just focused on wild card. Just get a nice spot in the wild card first, then we'll talk division. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we're trending in the right direction as of right now, and I agree 110%, Dennis. We got to sweep. We got to make a statement here. Build off the sweep against Seattle. Just get healthy, and that's it.
Well
Yeah.
said by you guys.
And the thing is, we don't know when Judge is coming back.
We don't have a timeable yet.
There's no time.
So
I mean, I know didn't he get another
gotta-
injection?
Yeah,
Yes.
but even so, I didn't see a definitive date of
Yeah,
when
no,
he's
there's
going to
nothing.
return.
So
Was
we
it really
gotta.
that hard of a hit? The hit that he took by the wall in Dodgers Stadium?
He
Guess
broke
so.
his toe, didn't he?
Yeah,
Wasn't it the clean break?
yeah.
So
That'll do it.
that would do it, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully he recovers well, and we shall see. But like you guys said, I mean, if the Yankees relied on Aaron Judge for just on him, then they weren't that close. Like you guys said, they weren't that close. But because I know you
I
were
agree
saying
110%. You can't rely on. Look, last I checked, there's 3 outfielders,
Mhm.
5 infielders, including a catcher, pitcher, bullpen, whole pitching
Yeah.
staff. If designated hitter, whatever. If you're banking on one guy, and, this was Mike Trout's thing for his whole career, pretty much. If you're banking on one guy on your team to lead you to a championship or World Series, whatever, just forget about it. You weren't that
just
good to
forget
begin with.
about it.
Yeah, forget about it.
In that New York, forget about it.
And I know he's been heating up lately, but like Rizzo, then Stanton, who's been a little bit on the colder side lately, but Rizzo, Stanton, DJ, Donaldson, Volpe, I know hit a bomb today. These guys got to step up. That's the end take right there. These are
Yeah,
proven
that's the
guys for most of the part. These guys step up.
DJ in
Everything-
particular.
DJ in particular, he hasn't really
Because-
had a hot stretch this year like Stanton did way in the beginning of the season and Rizzo had this year.
The thing that makes DJ so dangerous is he's usually a high batting average guy. So it's not just that he's a second baseman that hits 290. He's a third baseman, a first baseman, a DH, and a pinch hitter. And he's shown that he could be a legit pinch hitter, which is a separate skill that hits 290 or 310. So when you have that going and a great top of the order guy, I mean, that's dangerous.
Yep.
So and that could set up a Judge or a Stanton or some of these other guys to get to bring him in. Obviously, not Judge at the moment, but you get what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
He needs to play well.
Yeah.
He needs to play better offensively. Defensively, yeah, we know he's one of the best defenders in the league, but he's got to step it up on the other end. It's got to happen at this point.
Yeah, like 2019, 2020 LeMayu, man, that guy was
God.
just a force to be reckoned with. He got on base, got in all those runs because of Judge and Stan. We need him.
That's what made that
And
team
then,
dominant back then. Yeah.
and I know Volpe had a home run today. Good for him. But if he can, like we said, Yankees keep sticking with him. He gets that average and an on base percentage up, lowers his K rate. We got speed at the top of the lineup, possibly too. Swipe some bags and a great stolen bases year in Major League Baseball. I mean, we get that tandem going. Could be great. I mean, they just got to improve, step up. That's it.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. So I think that's basically it for the Yankees. Anything else before we move on? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I think
You go,
with the
Dennis.
way stolen bases are this season, I think the Yankees should try to move to a more trying to think of produce manufacturing runs rather than just hitting home runs.
Agreed, 110%.
Getting good at bats, stealing bags, putting the pressure on the other team. I wouldn't mind. I know they've been leading Bowers off a lot. I wouldn't mind leading Bader off. He's shown since they acquired him last year that he's a good leadoff hitter and has that potential. I wouldn't mind that. Speed on the base paths makes teams a little nervous going up against somebody like Bowers or McKinney or some of these other dudes that could try to knock him in. Because now, not only do you have Bader you got to worry about, you also have Volpe you got to worry about on the base paths. So a little hit and run, maybe some sack bunts.
Yeah.
Old
small
school.
Ball.
Old school.
Good old small ball wins games, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But one quick thing I did want to add, though, is that I figured should be talked about because Yankees news. Willie Calhoun is probably going to the injured list. I just read. And Oswaldo Cabrera, my boy who tossed me the ball at Citi Field, getting called back up after getting called back down. But
that was quick.
Cabrera's coming back. And then some bad news, too. Apparently, Oswald Peraza, Yankees' top prospect, he's hurt while in AAA. So I know a lot of fans are talking about bring him up, the designate for assignment, Donaldson, but I don't know what his injury is yet. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Designating Donaldson for assignment is something I could get behind.
Yeah. I mean, he's rough. He's just rough to watch.
Poor guy. All right. Now,
that kind of money, he ain't poor, buddy.
Yeah. Well. Anyways, now around the major league, David Freese. This is something I saw that was pretty interesting. He is projected the Cardinals offered to be inducted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame, citing that a lack of worthiness and that it would be disrespectful to the other members. So I guess he thought he just didn't have enough years logged in as a Cardinal to be considered part of that the Hall of Fame. What do you guys make out of that? Do you feel like David Freese is being over dramatic with it, or do you feel like he made the right call as from his perspective?
He's, in my personal opinion, I mean, he probably has. I mean, it's a pretty storied franchise. He probably has like the greatest moment in their World Series history and or greatest series. I mean, watching that back in like 2011 was nuts. Like, when I think Cardinals, I always do think of Pujols, Yachty, Waino, these guys. I can't lie. David Freese definitely pops in my head along those lines too. I don't think he's being over dramatic. He is being very humble, and I get what he's saying. He's not Yachty, he's not Pujols. He's nowhere near that caliber player. But I think just that World Series alone and like what he did for that franchise, it might be a little much. Put him into the Hall of Fame. I can see the argument for both sides. I feel like if a team thinks you're that worthy enough, and you're etched in a big part of that history, I think you're worthy at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, I do think he has earned it. I don't think, but I get what he's saying though. I know he's not gonna be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have 700 home runs like Pujols. He doesn't have all those gold gloves like Yachty. I get it. He's not Stan Musial, but I mean, look, the team offers it to you. You made that history. You are in that
Yeah.
history. It's like your name being written on the Stanley Cup or something. You're part of that history, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's crazy for the Cardinals to do it, but I get his reasoning for saying it.
Right. Dennis, your take?
Like, I'm just gonna come out and say it. He won them that 2011 World Series.
Yeah, down to the
Yeah.
final stretch.
Objectively
To
did.
the final, yeah.
Forget that. I mean, he batted 545 in the NLCS against Milwaukee with an OPS of 1.691. Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
He was an
went nuts.
MVP. He was the MVP in both the NLCS and the World Series that year. If I'm not mistaken, he had the most at that time. He had the most total bases to that point for anybody to in the playoffs, like ever. He had a really good run, but I think it's more of a philosophical question about how we view sports, which is not what makes a Hall of Famer for your sport, but what makes a Hall of Famer for your team.
Mm.
Right? I remember when this was brought up when Paul O'Neill was getting his jersey retired by the New York Yankees. People were like, yeah, he did so much for the team. He should get his number retired. And other people were like, bro, he's Paul O'Neill. Like he was a leader. He was the warrior. Everybody loved him. He was the first like free agent signing that turned the Yankees around, or actually the first trade rather, that turned the Yankees around into the 90s dynasty. So important in Yankees lore, but at the same time too, like he's not Willie Randolph or some of these other guys, you know? And at that time I remember thinking about it. Now it's kind of the same kind of question resurfaced with David Freese, which is what makes somebody a team like Hall of Famer for your team?
Yeah.
Here's how I look at it. If you're the best, there's only so many players that ever have the luck, the skill, all those things that factor into winning a championship. There's so few of those guys in the grand scheme of things. To be the best player on a championship winning team, I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay with it. But at the same time, too, as a fan vote, that's important. It was a fan vote. So does it come from the team or just from the fans? You entertain the fans, so I think that almost has more credence to it. I digress. But he grew up a Cardinals fan. If he doesn't think he's good enough, if he doesn't think he's a Stan Musial or a Bruce Sutter or a Keith Hernandez or some of those other guys that have accomplished so much for the second most historically accomplished franchise in the sport behind the Yankees, go Yanks, then I get it. Like it's his decision to make, not mine. So some people that are saying like, oh, he should or whatnot, I understand that, but at the same time too, it's also like I get it. I get it. It's kind of like you always hear the actors that played the superheroes, and they say they want to leave because they want to be known for doing more than playing that superhero. It's kind of like that. I think he wanted to be known more for just that 2011 World Series, and I think he wishes he was a better player all around. And he was not a bad player by any means.
No,
He was
he
an
wasn't
above
a bad
average.
player, no.
He was an above average hitter almost every year of his career. He was really good.
Yeah, he was
So a solid, consistent player. Only one All Star. Like I get it. I get it that he's not in, and I also get him being asked. But I think it's more interesting of what makes somebody a team Hall of Famer, and I think your contribution to your team.
Yeah.
I guess by my criteria, then I suppose he would be. But even just for the regular Hall of Fame, I prioritize winning. I don't know when people stopped caring about that to go the other way. Like at the end of the day, everybody that set foot on a ball field of any kind, of any sport, did so with the intent to win. And I respect the people that did it better than anybody else. And he was a winner. He made his team win. I mean, he dragged them. He dragged them out of being eliminated in the World Series and won.
Yeah.
Like that triple turned the whole series around. Then that homer, and of course the iconic "We will see you tomorrow night" by Joe Buck, and then they win in Game 7. I mean,
You don't get better
man,
than that.
that was a crazy series. And I
That
remember
was,
wanting Texas to win. I remember
I,
wanting
was- I,
Texas
was-
to
I
win
was
that
rooting for
series.
Texas too because as much as I hate to say it, big Josh Hamilton guy back in the day, but man, that guy just failed me over and over again. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, nah, I definitely agree, Dennis, because like there's definitely levels to it, man. It's like you got a high school like or like your local town hall of fame, where like even you just make it to the league, you play one game, you're going to the Hall of Fame in your local town, like it's insane, and I think Freese he lands right there for me personally for team Hall of Fame. He's obviously not going to Cooperstown, but like for team Hall of Fame, I think he deserves a spot. But he has every right to be like, hey, I don't think I was like that for you guys. So
Right.
I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. I get it. And good for him for even getting an offer, an invitation for it. I mean, it is deserved in my opinion. But yeah, it's just kind of an interesting topic for sure.
Yeah. I definitely good for David Freese. I think he just gains more respect from people in the baseball world. I mean, yeah, that he did make. I see why he got voted in. Obviously, when you get it from the fans' perspective too, that says a lot too, not just from the organization, but from the fans. That I remember that World Series that 2011. I remember that weekend when it was Game 6, Game 7. I believe the night they won, like when it was our sixth grade dance. Do you remember those dances, Dennis?
I do. I do. I didn't go to any of them in middle school except our last dance in
Eighth
eighth
grade.
grade.
Really? Wow.
That's it. I had no
Got
interest.
you.
It was a middle
Got you.
school
Got you.
dance. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
wow,
true.
let me run out there.
uh, yeah, yeah. Who needs to go to a middle school dance?
Yeah. Let's make a night out of it.
um, yeah, but I remember that night. I just remember just being that. I just remember being in middle school and just remember that series. I remember the night before. It was all over ESPN. It was all over sports networks everywhere. How David Freese saved, the night for the Cardinals. He saved the World Series, and they won it off of that. It's like when you look at when Bill Buckner missed the ball for the Red Sox and the Mets miraculously won Game 6 in '86, and then they ended up winning the Game 7, making them World Series champions. It makes me think of that, just the way it was a miracle of all miracles, and I see why he got voted in, but I also see why he doesn't want to get in. I respect it. Like I said, I think it makes me gain more respect for him because, like, sure, he could have went in the Hall of Fame. I see why he would have got voted in. He was a part of Cardinals history, and he helped that team win the World Series. And he was a good player. I do remember him playing throughout the league, whether it's for the Cardinals or it's with the Pirates. But you know, all I gotta say, I got nothing for respect for Freeze because Pete feels like he's not, like if he's not worthy of being in something, like he'll say no to it. So I give him credit for that. And so yeah. Now Lance Lynn, a 16K game, but he still lost. Tell me about that.
This is what happens when your offense just sucks. And that's what the White Sox have been all season long. They just can't get out of their own way. They've been bad all year. And the crazy thing is they could still win their division because that division is such a joke.
That division is
Now,
just horrible. It's terrible. I mean, I think the
Pathetic.
last place Red Sox in the American League East would be in first place in the AL Central. That alone just goes to show how
The
bad.
Mets would be in first place right now.
Yeah, it's kind of pathetic, honestly.
The NL
Uh,
Central isn't much better. The
no.
Reds literally crawled out of the grave that they were in and are now in first place.
The
That's
Ellie
released
De La
right now.
Cruz
Yeah.
effect, man. Crazy.
And they got Votto back.
So
Dude.
they got brought back, yeah.
Yep.
He's
A
been on
lot
the
of good
team for
stuff
a
going on
long
with the
time,
Reds.
like
I'm sorry?
16
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah.
Votto's been around, man. 39 years old now. Dude's a freaking walk machine. He's sick, dude. But he's a fan favorite, obviously. He's a franchise player. Having him back in this win streak, I think everything's just going right for the Reds right now. Andrew Abbott, I believe his name is, that pitching prospect. He had a great game today, too. He pitched 10 Ks today. I think like 2 or 3 earned runs, something
Are we
like
just
that.
Are we just gonna skip the White Sox and leave it as
The White Sox is bad. Lance Lynn, 16 K.
Congratulations, man! Congratulations.
Yeah,
17
it's like
wins
not
is
talking about
hard.
the White Sox. They're just bad. I think everyone
17
knows that.
strikeouts is hard to get to, and I just saw scrolling on the Chiron on the MLB Network that Tim Anderson missed today with the shoulder injury.
Yeah, that team's just pathetic.
And he's been bad too. He's probably my favorite player in the league aside from Judge. And he's just been
I love Timmy A. I have him in my dynasty league. And it's been rough. I'm rooting for him so bad. Hope he gets healthy.
gotta cut him out, man.
Yeah,
I'm wearing a Marlins hat today, but I actually just traded Alcantara earlier this evening.
Funny enough, I almost traded for Alcantara today, but
really,
yeah, I almost traded for him today, but
it's getting grim.
Yeah,
Got you. All right. The Giants, Marlins, Phillies, and the Reds are red hot as the Reds are coming for the NL Central crown. Now the Reds right now are riding on an 11-game win streak today, and I believe they broke the streak. I believe it's a franchise record that they broke of winning streaks.
They tied it earlier today with 11 for the first time since the 1957 Red Stockings. Do you guys know who their main player was? Do you guys know who their best player was?
in 1957.
1957.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Give me good. Give me
Frank
good.
Robinson.
Correct. 21-year-old Frank Robinson, 6.9 wins above replacement. They also had Ted Klaczewski, but he was hurt. Only played 69 games that year. Boom! Memorized all of that. Read their baseball reference earlier today. Thank
Frank
you,
Robinson, I think he had like 38 home runs his rookie season or something like that.
He was a beast.
Monster.
He does not get enough discussion of arguably
the dude, he's one of the goats, man.
Oh my god! They traded him prematurely because they thought he was going to decline. He went to Baltimore. He's like, I'm just going to win a couple rings.
And then he won an MVP right when he got traded, right? Like Baltimore.
Yeah, dude,
guy's a beast. Guy's a monster.
I know he was on the Baltimore team that lost against the Mets. I know he was on that team. You know who else was on that team?
Brooks Robinson.
Davey Johnson.
Oh, pre-steroid Davey Johnson, huh?
The manager of the Mets in the '86 World Series, Davey Johnson.
Yeah,
that Davey Johnson.
Wow.
Well, so now
last time the Jets won a Super Bowl too, Brandon. This fall, baby, be back.
Hopefully this fall. That's definitely something. It's definitely a topic I would love to talk about in the future, even if it's not baseball.
Yeah,
but hopefully in the future this summer. You better be coming with me. Before we get into that, you better be coming with me to a Jet game this summer.
We have, bro, for sure.
Definitely. I know. Now Dodgers fall to third place. That's interesting. A lot of teams have been slumping lately. Like a lot of teams have just been disappointment after disappointment. You got the Padres, then now the Dodgers, the Mets. That's no secret. Even the Yankees. There's a lot of these teams right now. Now, what's going on? What's going on with the Dodgers right now? I feel like the Dodgers have been having a lot going on with Mookie Betts, and then Kershaw.
I think the Dodgers are kind of just. I really don't follow the Dodgers like that, so I don't know what they're really going through. Talent wise or performance wise, but I think they're just like, this is my opinion. I think they're kind of just like victims of just the red hot San Francisco Giants and the D-backs right now. Because I mean, they are 40-33, only 4 games out of the division, and it's the Dodgers. I mean, come on. But they've been a little colder lately. I know Kershaw just pitched a great game. So are they dealing with injuries right now? Isn't Urias out still?
Dustin
Uh,
May is out.
Dustin May. Yeah. So
They've had a couple.
I think injuries are maybe playing a little bit part into that. That might be it for the Dodgers.
I totally disagree with that. They have had their worst pitching season since 1958, their first year in Los Angeles.
Wow. That's saying something.
Their pitching has been so bad this season in comparison to how they usually are. That I mean, which is still crazy because their team ERA is only, come on, help me out here, 4.6. So I mean, that's not even that bad, but they're just, I mean, that's the problem. Every 5 days you have Clayton Kershaw just pitch a gem for them, and the other 4 days you're just holding your breath. And right now they are ahead of the Angels 1-0, going into the top of the ninth. It's a commercial break, so I kind of lost my place there. But look, that's the problem. Clayton Kershaw's a 2.8 WAR. Dustin May had a 1.9. He hasn't pitched for them in like a month. He might be out for the year at this point.
A lot of
I haven't
injuries
heard
right there.
anything other than setbacks. Tony Gonsolin hasn't been as good as he was last year. Shelby Miller has kind of cooled off. Offensively, this team is getting it done. Will Smith is one of the best offensive catchers in the league, if not the best. Freddie Freeman, come on, he's Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
Max Muncy's having a good year. James Outman started the year off red hot. I think he's cooled off quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
he's cooled down tremendously.
Serviceable. JD Martinez having a very good season. His first with the Dodgers, was with the Red Sox forever. Mookie Betts having a great season. Jason Hayward, I guess they have the fountain of youth over there in Chavez Ravine. He's having a good season. Yep. Only 33 years old, which is insane. I thought he was like 38. But, you know, Trace Thompson is hurt, who, I mean, was great in the WBC, but hasn't done much in the regular season. And then you look at the pitching. 7.16 ERA for Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah, he was horrible.
Before he got hurt, Julio Urias, 4.39 ERA, not having one of his best seasons. Tony Gonsolin, he's actually better than I thought, 2.92 ERA. Michael Grove, he started off really good for them. Then he had that one game against the Yankees, and since then he's just been a mess. He's got an 8.10 ERA. Their bullpen isn't getting anything done. Yency Almonte, 6.30 ERA. Phil Bickford is on the 15-day IL, but in 23 games, 7.33 ERA. In 22 games, Alex Vesia, 8 ERA. In 14 games, 4.41 for Justin. I mean, these are guys that are getting legit minutes that are just not playing well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem. Is you know, you're getting Gonsolin and Kershaw having good moments, then you got to go these bullpen days, and they just keep getting rocked. Today they've managed to get through it. They're ahead of the Angels 1-0 in the top of the ninth, and I mean, they might beat Ohtani tonight, so that's big for them. But it's kind of slipping away from them, and they're another team. Like earlier, I was talking about the Mets maybe interested in getting Eduardo Rodriguez or Michael Lorenzen or some of these other dudes, Stroman. The Dodgers have to consider it. I think at this point, if your savior is going to be Noah Syndergaard, I mean, dude, I love Thor. I thought he was awesome when he was with the Mets when he first started, but the whole back of his trading card might as well just be an insurance claim. He gets hurt so much. So I don't know. Where's it coming from? Dustin May, injury prone. Julio Urias, history will say he's good, but before he got hurt, he was kind of struggling the season. He was average. And average for him is bad, which is crazy. But yeah. Oh.
But
2-0. 2-0
there we
Dodgers.
go.
Miguel Vargas.
There we go.
Wow.
But yeah, I think they're definitely hurting without Dustin May and Urias. But no, Bobby Miller, like I said a few episodes ago, I love that kid. I hope he keeps stepping up. I mean, he's been pretty solid to begin his early MLB career. But I think they're going to be one of those teams that definitely makes a splash for a starting pitcher. I mean, that team most of the time they turn starting pitching into they make it elite. It's insane how well the starting pitchers usually fan out in LA. I was surprised how bad Noah Syndergaard has been this year, the 7+ ERA. But hey, I mean, he's kind of just been on the downturn pretty much these last few years. But I mean, it's a long season. We'll see what happens with the Dodgers. San Fran is super hot. Diamondbacks looking like a legit threat, looking like a legit contender. It's gonna be interesting this deadline. I think the Dodgers, they're definitely gonna make a move for sure for starting pitcher. They gotta with that offense.
Buddy, what do you think?
Alrighty.
I think we lost him there.
Is it frozen? Yeah.
Thank you for that. Got a caller. No.
I think that does it for the Dodger talk. Buddy, do you have
Yeah.
anything you want to add to the Dodger talk?
Nope. I say let's move on to the next topic. We talked about the Astros slipping in the standings. What about the Angels? Quick. What about the?
Lakers. You go. You go.
You said the Angels?
Yes.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
As good as they are, as bad as they are, I'll believe it. They're a team. I can't make a decision about them until the last week of the season. Too much talent on that roster between two guys. Everybody else.
It's hard to get excited about them. Let's just say that it's hard to because they've just let me down so many years in a row. Because I love Trout. Like when it comes to non-Yankees, I love Trout. I love Ohtani. Like, God, the MLB fandom, the MLB world needs to see these two in the playoffs, especially Trout again. I mean, he's not getting any younger. But I mean, Reed Detmers, that young lefty kid, the guy, he's been pretty solid lately. Maybe they might have found something with him. But I mean, look at the standings right now. I mean, let's go to the AL real quick here. Yeah, I mean, look, they're tied with Houston. They're tied with Houston. I know Houston's been a little cold. The Rangers' offense is out of this world. But yeah, Dennis, I gotta agree. I mean, like, will we see the Angels doing this in August? I mean, it's just tough to get excited. It's tough to get your hopes up about this team because you want to see both Trout and Ohtani in the playoffs so bad, but it's just like they just fall apart always. So I mean, it'll definitely be great if they can stay in the race, give Houston some problems. Same with the Rangers. We just gotta see what happens.
Sounds like a good.
Ohtani's out of this world, though, man. This guy impresses me more and more every day. It's insane.
Sounds like a good Post Malone song, "Fall Apart."
Yeah, great song.
That's good. That's good. Now, top catcher prospects Bo Nally of the Cleveland Guardians and Henry Davis for the Pittsburgh Pirates get the call up to the major leagues. Now, just say congratulations to them. Now, what can you guys say about both of these prospects that they both bring to the both ball clubs?
Bo Naylor's on the Guardians, right?
Yes, with his brother.
With his brother, I was about to say, good for them. That's awesome, man. Brothers on the same team. That's cool. I have an older brother. That would have been a dream of mine as a kid.
It's funny you bring that up. I just saw a video. I think it was his first career hit, and Josh Naylor was going nuts on the bench. And like, look, you had that stupid rock the baby thing against the Yankees, whatever, last year. I know he left the bad taste in the Yankees fans' mouth, but I loved it. I mean, for baseball, look, he's hyped for his brother, man. You cannot dislike that. And Bo Naylor, I mean, look, he's had some pretty good numbers in the minors. I think he's an offensive-minded catcher. I'm all for the offensive-minded catchers in the league. It's been kind of dry as last couple of years or whatever. It has gotten a little bit better, but it's just good for baseball. It's good to see. And Henry Davis, I love. I mean, I think this kid's gonna be the real deal. Could be a cornerstone for Pittsburgh, with O'Neal Cruz, Cabrian Hayes, Brian Reynolds. I like what Pittsburgh's got brewing up there. They could be a threat for the next couple of years.
They started off the season first place in the National League Central for a reason, man. They got players. They got dudes. They got dudes down there. McCutcheon.
It's kind of like what I just said with Votto. You have a franchise guy back on a magical team. It's just great to see. Adds more to the chemistry. It gives these older guys life back in McCutcheon and Votto. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean they got a nice young team. They have fun out there, and they're getting at bats. Nobody's expecting them to win the World Series this year. Nobody.
No.
But you're getting at bats. You're getting that experience, and that's something to build upon moving forward. That's it's awesome. It's awesome. And as for Bo Naylor, I remember he was on the postseason roster for the Cleveland Guardians, but I don't think he got any at bats. Maybe a pinch hit, but nothing. So I'm glad to see he's doing well. And you had talked about the whole, Josh Naylor rock the baby thing. I guess maybe I'm the only Yankee fan who'll say it. Not only did I not have any issues with that, I loved it. I love Josh Naylor. I love his energy. I love that he like. I just love that he's just a big boy that just plays with so much energy. Reminds me of
Yeah.
myself.
Nah,
Reminds me
he
of myself.
definitely adds character to the game, which is great. I just loved it more when Gleyber Torres did it when the Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
come on, you can't dish if you can't take.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
I'm just sick of the whole. This is a side rant. It won't be long. I'm sick of the whole
Yeah,
stone
don't make it long.
faced baseball. Like players like, yeah, I think we just got to go out there and keep doing what we're doing. Have fun, man. Have fun, and I like that. That's what I like about Naylor. So
Good for you guys. Good
I'm
for you
ready.
guys. Good for them. Now, this is something that's kind of crazy. This is definitely not something you expect on Father's Day. Braves infielder Charlie Cleverson was designated for assignment on Father's Day when his father was scheduled to throw the first pitch, and he was replaced by Michael Harris II and his father. I I don't understand that. Like, it doesn't really sound like the ideal Father's Day, in my opinion. Maybe they could have waited till after Father's Day to make this, but what do you guys think?
Look, I get it. It's a team. You got to do what you got to do. You're also in first place in your division with a good lead on the Marlins. Did it really matter? Would that extra day have killed you? Did whoever was replacing him, were they going to be a factor that day? It's I understand that it's a business and whatnot, but it was such an unnecessary negative headline.
Yeah,
Stay out of the press. You know.
I have to agree. I mean, like the timing is just super incredible right there. I mean, it's kind of like you really have to. Ah, not a good look for the Braves at that. I mean, like, come on. I
Yes,
mean, like you
that's not
said,
something the PR team could, cover.
exactly. Yeah, I think the Braves they just kind of really dropped the ball on that, and like Michael Harris too, and his father got replaced for it. I love Michael Harris too. Is probably one of my non favorite Yankees right now, and still though,
Good
it's
for you.
just
Definitely, I can't
rough.
say the same thing about my team. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, but it's just rough. I mean, kind of sucks for Charlie, and his dad, but
I guess that's the business,
it's
as we say.
I think they could have gotten away with doing it. And I could have seen one of those things where if Charlie was playing that day, he probably hits a home run the same day, throws a pitch to his father. I could so see that. But what are you gonna do? It's just a bad, it's a bad headline. Bad on the Braves part. Just wrap the ball hard on that.
I noticed you did it, and I've heard basically everybody that talks about Michael Harris said, why is he the only guy that goes by Michael Harris too, not Michael Harris II? Aside from RG3, anybody? No. Okay. All right.
I
Moving
don't
on.
know. Sounds sick.
Michael Harris. I'm probably gonna
I
Michael
get
just
roasted
Harris
by.
too.
I'm probably gonna get roasted by the guys. If they hear that. So no, Michael Harris the second. I'll say that. Speaking of Michael Harris the second, he's on fire and is playing to his full potential. Finally, after a cold start to the 2023 season. Because I know you guys were just raving about him now.
I love this kid. I mean, I was pretty high on him in the minors last year, and then he obviously had a great season last year, winning Rookie of the Year. I know Rookie of the Year. Um, yeah, I think he's like I forget the exact numbers, but he's seen like 460 something in his last few games. And the guy's a gamer, dude. He hits bombs, steals bases. Last year he was on base a good amount of times, hit 297. Top 15 MVP votes. Like I said, Rookie of the Year. I think this kid's got it all, man. And he had a pretty cold start to begin the year. He's on a stacked team. He's on a great team. He's on a winning ball club. God, it's good to see him balling out again. I think he's one of the best young faces in the league, hands down.
I agree. Moving on.
Yeah, nothing much
Okay.
else said there.
Next topic. Because like I say, it's well said. Shohei Otani, we got to show some appreciation to him. He's clearly the AL MVP.
No
There's no,
argument
I feel
here.
like there's no debate from that. No.
Yeah, no argument here. Yeah, I really just wanted to talk about it because it's like, dude, just like we kind of dabbled into the Angels just before. God, man, if he leads them to the playoffs, dude, and just what he's doing, man, the guy's what? He's leading the league in home runs, or the AL at least, leading the AL in home runs, RBIs, and then what? He's leading the AL in strikeouts, right, for pitching,
Yup.
and like, dude, that's all I wanted to say. I'm like, come on, this guy's a beast, man. He's just sick. Generational talent. He's doing things we've never seen before. So I'm pretty sure no one listening was alive during Babe Ruth. I think he's doing things better than what Babe Ruth did, despite winning World Series and stuff like that. He still has to catch him up there. Even as a Yankee fan, I'm saying that. But dude,
I
if
agree.
Otani can lead this Angels team to the playoffs, it
Playoffs.
maybe make a deep run if it gets that. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, like we just said. We talk about playoffs. We talk about practice, but nah, man. I'm telling you, dude. Otani,
Playoffs.
generational talent. We just got we got we got to worship this guy, man. It's insane what he's doing.
It's always
Yeah,
great
I
when
mean,
you.
he lost today, but he went 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. I mean, dude's built different, and Dodgers win 2-0 with 6 hits on the game. So, I mean, he's a beast.
He's him.
He's so good. It's hard to even describe how good he is. Imagine peak Tom Brady, who's also peak Ray Lewis.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's unfair.
Inconceivable. Inconceivable, man. I guess it's easier in like basketball, offense and defense. But like that's like
Yeah,
Marty Brodeur and Wayne Gretzky is in one.
yeah, exactly.
It's insane, dude.
You
It's
scored five
insane what he's
goals. You
doing.
scored 5 goals in the game, and you stopped 48 shots. Like, come on.
Unbelievable. And it's in every single game.
Yeah,
Every single time this guy plays, he's the first to do X since Y. It is insane, man. He's so freaking good. So
Shohei,
freaking
baby.
good.
and like, look,
Showtime.
yeah, and he's leading this team to potentially a wild card berth. And I mean, if he gets them over that hump, that playoff hump, that's more married to him, man. He's just killing it.
Hmm.
That'd be huge for that franchise.
All
Yeah.
right, all right, all right. Bigger bases equal to more stolen bases, as Estoy Ruiz and Ronald Acuna are already at 36 and 30 stolen bases respectively. Insanity. That's all we have to say.
I mean, think about it. Like Acuna, man. Yeah, Acuna. 30 stolen bases already, and it's not even All-Star break yet, dude. That's in. I mean, obviously, we've seen more impressive numbers, and this is unfair to say with Ricky Henderson, guys like that. But like, in recent years, before the bigger bases, stolen bases were kind of a little lackluster. It was like guys were leading the league in stolen bases like 34. I think Whit Merrifield led the AL in stolen bases with 34 like 5 years ago or something like that. Cooney's at 30, dude. While being the NL MVP favorite right now on the best National League team in baseball. I just think it's great to have the art of the stolen base back into the game. Kind of talked about a little bit of Volpe just before. It's great, man. I love it. I think it was a great change for the game. I don't know how you guys feel, but if we can see Acuna maybe swipe 60 bags, 40 home runs, I'm all for it. That's sick.
I love stolen bases. Always have. When I play MLB The Show, if you're on first base for me, you're going.
Yeah.
I don't look at speed, steal. You're going, dude.
You're going.
You're going. Put the skates on. Get on the horse.
I don't care if Matt
I
Stairs is on first base. You're sending him. Bro.
Oh, you're going.
You're
Adam
going.
Adam Dumb. Adam Dumb. Rev up the engine, bro. You're going.
You're going.
So I love stolen bases. It's why I like Tim Anderson so much, as I mentioned earlier. Look, bring it back. Bring it back.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm so glad they did this safer. It makes the game more exciting. It's something in between pitches. And now with the bigger bases, and not only the bigger bases, but the rule about the amount of pickoffs you have, there's so much going on with it. And we look at football, we look at hockey, we look at basketball. All we hear are how these guys are more athletic now than they used to be. And I look at highlights of Marquise Grissom or Harold Reynolds or Deion Sanders, some of these guys that used to play Major League Baseball, Dave Winfield. They used to play in Major League Baseball that were just like freaks of nature. And then I look at the guys now and I'm like, these guys aren't making these kinds of athletic defensive plays. These guys aren't making the same kinds of steals those dudes were making. There's no Ozzie Smiths now. And I'm glad the new rules about banning the shift and the new rules with the bigger bases, limiting pickoffs, it makes the game more exciting. It makes it a more easy watch from a fan, from a consumer perspective. And I'm glad to see where it's gone. And I think it's not just an aberration. I think next season and all the seasons after it, with these new rules in place, it's going to be a stolen base league. It's going to be an athletic league again.
I agree, and it's great. It's like 80s baseball, man. It's great. It's awesome. The guys you said, man, Winfield, Ozzie Smith, like just electric.
Rock Reigns.
Rock Reigns. Yep. Obviously, Man of Steel. But
that's one of the best nicknames in sports, man.
Man of Steel. Oh yeah, such a sick name.
All right. Luis Arias. Now he's still racking it up. I know he went 5 for 5 the other day, if I'm correct. I don't know you have any Marlins hat. I see that.
I got I got some stats for you. Hold on. I got to pull it up. I took a picture of it. Most 5-hit games in a single calendar month. George Sisler, the guy who had the single season hit record before Ichiro, fun fact, 3 in August of 1921. Ty Cobb, 3 in July of 1922. Dave Winfield, our guy, in June of 1984 had 3. Luis Arias, 3 in June of 2023. And guys, it's only the 22nd. He's got a couple of days. He's got 8 days. Come on, Luis, get it. I love it. I love it. Dude, I love batting average. I don't think you guys understand. I love batting.
I mean,
I agree.
I mean, like,
this
not
whole
ridiculous. That's not ridiculous.
This, that, the other Silver Surfer plus whatever these stats that they're throwing around now, dude, I don't like it. Make it easy. Batting average.
Yeah.
We talk shooting percentages and completion percent. batting average. I like
I
it.
mean,
And Luis Arias, he shows up, bro, and he mashes. Line drive hitter. Forget a home run, bro. Oppo. Right in the gap. Love it.
exactly.
Big Ichiro fan as
Yeah,
And
well.
I
that's not
mean,
that's yeah. That's
look at it this way. Like, I think worldwide to any casual fan or even non-fans of baseball, I think the most popular statistic is the home run or the most excited stat or whatever for most people. Batting average is there on the Triple Crown for a reason, man. It's an important stat. It really shows how much success you really do have at the plate most of the time, when it's getting hits. And Arias just does that. He gets hits, whether they're extra base hits, singles. I don't care. Like you said, Dennis, this guy's just spraying them all over the chart, dude. He's awesome. If we can see a 400 season in our lifetime, I'm for it. And he's the kid to do it, man.
yeah, like I said, Dennis, I gotta say, like that's not, it's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that in terms of having average. Average is the most important thing you got to look for. Because it obviously determines that you are a good hitter. You're gonna want a player that's gonna be batting. It's great when you get a hitter that's hitting like 270, 280, 300, 400. Jesus, that's something you're talking about, like from back in the day, back in the heyday, way before
Yeah.
even our freaking grandparents were born.
Hasn't
It's
been done since Ted freaking Williams.
yeah. And
Insane.
I saw Arias play. I saw him twice on the opening series against the Mets. So maybe I was looking back, I'm like, did I see him playing? Like I did watch him play in person. So I thought that I gotta give credit. I think it's pretty cool.
Wait, buddy, you saw the Marlins play? Dude,
Yeah.
I have to put money on them to win the World Series this year.
Oh,
The Buddy
yeah.
curse, the Buddy curse, and the Florida having a sports moment right
I
now.
wouldn't say it's a
The
curse
Heat and
though,
the
Dennis.
Panthers.
I mean, could you say it's a curse? I don't really think you could really say it's a curse.
Well, there's some voodoo.
Yeah, but there's
There's
some
some
good
black
root.
magic going on.
There's some. I
It's
wouldn't
not
say
the
that.
Mets.
There's some good. I wouldn't say that. I don't want to say that. I would say it's some good karma. Because for
To
some
the road
reason,
team.
or I'll say the buddy magic. So Nick, I don't know if we
Buddy
ever told you
effect.
this. The buddy effect. I like that. The buddy. No, actually not. I like the buddy magic better. Whenever I've gone see a team, like whether it's, I mean, for some reason, like the buddy magic or the buddy effect, it
6
doesn't
degrees
work.
of Buddy.
It doesn't. It doesn't work on the Mets or my favorite teams for some reason. But whenever I've seen a team, so for instance, I saw the Mets play the Nationals maybe like 4 or 5 times in 2019. That year they won the
I
World
kind of
Series.
see where this is going here, but keep going.
In 2021, I saw the Yankees. No, I saw the Mets play the Braves a lot. I saw them play a lot too. It doesn't even need to be played a lot. Like I don't need to see a team be played multiple
All right,
times.
wait.
Last
Brandon.
year, Astros, Yankees.
All right.
Astros, Yankees.
Brandon, before you continue, can you please go to any Met Yankee game, please? Just
I
for
did.
my sake.
I did last year actually, and no, it doesn't work on New York teams. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
it doesn't work on
not
New
even
York.
my teams.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. Not. I'm not saying. Excuse me. I'm not saying that if I go to say like I go to a Jet Giant, like to say I go to Jet Giants this year. I don't think say like my match, the effect. I don't think like if I go, they're automatically not going to win. It's not going to happen. With Drake, people thought that Drake was had a curse. But
Oh, yeah.
I forgot some team broke it though, and I think Drake actually recently put a team. I think he bet on the Nuggets to win it actually, and they actually won it. So, shoot, good for
Wasn't
him.
the Raptors in 2019? Because I know he's a big Toronto guy.
Yeah.
He's a huge Toronto guy. Yeah,
But it was also against Steph Curry, who he worships. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of a bandwagoner.
Yeah.
but so I think so. So yeah, I did see the Marlins play, and whether they win it, that's interesting to note.
Hey, I'm not against it. I mean, if there's an NL East team that I kind of mess with, I kind of like. It's probably the Marlins.
Same.
What about you? What about your Mets? What about the Mets?
Oh, dude, Mets, man.
See,
Okay.
here's something.
I see how I'll remember that.
I want to like the Mets, but I don't like their attitude towards Yankees fans.
Exactly.
What are you trying to say?
That's it.
What are you trying to say now?
No, Brandon, you're a genteel. I have nothing but love for the Natali.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of listen, and Yankee
It's
fans talk a
other
lot of
people.
smack too, but I think me and Dennis, we kind of fall into that category of like sane, chill Yankee fans. Some Yankee fans are like, we want Boston, then we get creamed by Boston, and stuff like that.
Wait, did I ever tell you this
A
story?
lot
Wait,
of
I gotta
Mets
tell
fans
you.
talk a lot
Yeah,
of smack to me when I'm trying to be like,
we
yo, I
do.
love
We do.
Scherzer.
I'll
Here's
admit
the
it.
line.
Sometimes I can't be a hypocrite.
Here's the line that I've noticed over the years. The majority of Yankees fans I know will root for the Mets to win or want to see them do well.
Really.
Yeah. Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't see
Not
it.
even close.
That's not what I see.
Not
I
a
mean,
single Met fan I
This
know,
is the Mets fan talking.
I don't know what kind. I don't know
aside
what
from
kind of.
maybe Branton, not a single Met fan I know would root for the Yankees. My
But they
cousin,
hate the Yankees.
my cousin openly rooted for the Astros over the Yankees. I
Yeah,
said like they're a
hopefully
bunch
root
of
for the
cheaters, and he
Astros.
said I'm not proud of it.
So
That was
Sam,
his.
my cousin.
That's what he
I don't
texted me.
say I would
I'm not proud of it.
necessarily. I
I was
don't
like,
know if I.
what?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't know if I would necessarily. I don't know. I'm not saying I would root against them. I'm not saying I just wouldn't have anything. I don't know. I'm not gonna openly say it on the show, but I would say I like. All I gotta say is I like Aaron Judge. I like him a lot.
Right.
He's a good, genuine person. Like, and whether he's a Yankee or he's a Red Sox, he's a Brave, he's a Marlin. I think he's just a great, genuine player, and he's insane. He's the Derek Jeter of the next generation. Like how we had Derek Jeter, that's who kids growing up to seeing Aaron Judge, and just he's just a remarkable player, great guy. Great story, just nice guy. I got nothing but good things to say about Aaron Judge. So I'll say that.
Oh,
I like Garrett
dude,
Cole.
I
I was
own a
hesitant at
Piazza
Garrett
jersey.
Cole.
I own a
Yeah, good for
Piazza
you.
jersey because they go to Mets games. So I'm like, all right, I need something.
Yeah, I have a Babe Ruth jersey. I'm probably gonna wear it because the people I go with, like, they're good, respectable Yankee people. And plus, I'm gonna be in the bleachers, so I kind of want to be incognito. I kind of don't want to. You know me, Dennis. I when I
Yeah.
go to games, I don't try to openly don't try to show my Mets fandom in Yankee Stadium. That's not the best idea. No.
Nothing boils my blood more than somebody wearing a jersey that has nothing to do with the game.
Dude, I went
If
to
dude, if you're like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if you're
yeah.
watching like a Pirates Mets game at Citi Field and you show up wearing a Steelers jersey, I'm cool with it. Pittsburgh, okay, fine. But if you show up to a Pirates Mets jersey and you show up wearing a Ken Griffey Jr. jersey, I gotta look at you like you're a
It's actually
knucklehead.
funny you saying that because I was actually just looking at Ken Griffey's stats. I don't know what made me
Oh,
think of him.
really?
I don't know what made me think of him. I was just looking at his stats because I was just curious to see from Baseball Reference. One time when I went to the Yankees, the game we went to last year with everybody, with Sean and everybody.
The haircut
Um,
game.
the haircut game. And there was a fan that noticed I was because there was a guy behind me. He had a Mets hat on, and I was saying, "Oh, the Mets won," And then I don't know if that's what caught it, but I remember the guy was yelling at me. He was like all the way from like maybe like 10 rows back, 15. He was far behind me. Like, how do you notice me? Like what are you doing? The game's that way, bro. Like, I'm
And
not.
weren't you wearing a Ruth shirt?
I was wearing
I
my
think you were
roof
wearing a
jersey.
Ruth
Yeah, I was
jersey.
wearing my
Yeah.
roof jersey. And he's like, "You a Met fan?" I'm like, I didn't say anything. I was like, "I could be, might not." And he's like giving me the dirty bird. All right. I'm sorry. I don't know how I hurt you. I mean, And he's like, "We'll see you next Tuesday." And I'm like, "Okay." Because that was the Mets Subway Series at Yankee Stadium. I didn't go. It's actually sick. I had a lot going on, so I couldn't really go. But he's like, "I'll see you next week," and I'm like, "Okay, nice knowing you, bud."
Yeah.
Oh man,
God,
but
I went to the Yankees Padres game. I talked about it back May 21st. And dude, so I'm in the bleacher creatures in right field, and my buddies go use the bathroom or whatever. So our two seats are open, and this kid walks down. It's a Yankees Padres game. He walks down wearing a Cabrian Hayes Pirates jersey, and he sits down next to me. I'm like, he looks at me like, "Is this seat taken?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's taken." I'm like, "Why? Like, what are you wearing?" He was like, "Oh, my bad, bro, my bad. I'll see you later." Like, you can tell this kid had a few drinks, so I was just dying. I'm like, Cabrian Hayes, love the guy. Is it a Charlie Hayes reference? I don't know, but whatever.
Okay. All right.
Right?
Where does the son of fit into it? There we go.
Yeah,
Is an
Yeah.
O'Neill Cruz jersey acceptable because he's named after Paul O'Neill? Second Paul O'Neill mention of the show today. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Warrior, baby.
Before we get back into the show, I remember that night we went to the game, sat in the bleachers. It was insane. There was a fight. It was insane. It just came out of nowhere, and then
I want to know
literally,
the
I think
context of that fight.
I don't know what happened. It was
It
huge.
was about a
Everyone was
chick.
like, I think everybody in the stadium was watching. That's how because we
Dude,
were far.
it got the Yankees a triple. You remember that,
Yeah,
right?
they got the.
Dude, who was it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I forgot who
Manny
got the
Margot?
triple.
Was it Manny
It was somebody
Margot
who
who
got
got
the triple. I
distracted?
gotta look it up.
Manny Margot
Wait,
got
because
distracted by the fight, and that's what led to a Yankees triple. Because
is
he
that what
looked
happened?
over yes, he looked over at the fight, and that's what the Yankees got a triple because he wasn't paying attention. It
Yeah,
was
no, I remember that.
insane. It
It
was
was insane.
insane.
It really was.
Oh
As a
my
Mets fan, I have
god.
to say it. That was an insane night in the bleacher section. I mean, like I said,
It was a
everyone whenever
war
you go to
zone.
the bleachers, remember obeyed by the guidelines and the safety. Don't be starting
Yeah, it
fights.
was
But
like
that was no. I'm just saying, like I just think it was crazy seeing all that go down. That was that
nuts.
was insane. Yeah, and I remember like the whole stadium was watching, like because that's how big the
Yeah.
fight was. It broke up luckily, but I remember
Oh
just
yeah.
like and then I remember like whoever that was got the triple, and everyone was like, yeah, everyone's like, oh, like everyone's always shocked, and then
It was
they get the
insane.
triple, everyone's like going
Was it
nuts over that,
IKF?
and then
Was it IKF who hit the
it had to be
triple?
IKF. I'll look it
Or
up in a bit.
Trevino? Or was it Jose Trevino,
No,
maybe?
it was definitely not Trevino. It had to be IKF. I don't think Trevino would have got a triple. Maybe he got distracted. But I remember, and
That was
then
nuts.
Nick, I saw a kid get a haircut in the bleacher section.
Same game.
It was the most random
Same
thing.
game.
That's a
It's
lot
against
of
the
games.
I
Rays.
think there was
Same game.
I think there was like an influencer from another country or something, and he was in. I don't know. It was just weird. Yeah, it was same game too. And then yeah, no joke. I don't know. He was something because they just don't do that out of nowhere. I don't even know how they would have got in with that. That's not good.
Well, you remember the kid got detained from the security, and they let him back. They let him
Yeah, I don't
back
know
to
why.
his seat, and he was just telling everybody, he's like, they just wanted to know how I snuck it past security, how I
That's
snuck past the
crazy.
clippers and the apron. I guess the kid was going to school to be a barber or something. I don't know. I didn't ask. I should have.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. They need
That's
to
insane.
Yankee
That's what
Stadium
happened.
security.
It was
They need to
crazy.
tighten security needs to tighten them up more. Else they're gonna, they're gonna be or else they're not gonna be getting that profit of haircuts from that kid.
Wild.
And then, yeah, that was there's something no, but anyways, so we talked about one last thing before we talk about the All-Star voting ballot. James Paxton joined a career revival season. Good for him. I know he was a former Yankee, right?
I gotta look this up. I haven't really checked his stats this
This
Former
is
season.
Yankee.
another
I only know this because I picked him up in fantasy, and I picked him up as a streamer. But man, dude, he's 3-1 this year.
7 games.
3.29 ERA. 51 strikeouts to only 11 walks. 1.070 WHIP. I mean, he's 34 years old. Boston's still kind of in the running a little bit here for a playoff spot. Look, dude, 51 strikeouts and 38 innings pitched, man. He's always been a big strikeout guy. I mean, check the numbers real quick. I think he's registered like 7+ strikeouts in most of his starts this year. He's sick. I love the Big Maple. He was always one of my favorite pitchers. I was hyped when he came to the Yankees, but yeah, man, 9 strikeouts in his debut this year. Then 8, 9, 8. He's only had below 7 strikeouts twice this year in 7 starts.
Good for James Paxton.
Love James Paxton.
I like James Paxton when he was with the Yankees. Just didn't work out. A lot of injuries. Whatever, man. God bless.
Yeah.
Seems like a nice guy.
Pretty underrated 2019 season at that too.
I agree. But when he was with the Mariners, he had 2 complete games, which led the league one year.
Yeah.
I just saw it. Hold on. 2018, the year before he went to the Yankees. He was good with the Yankees. He was a good Yankee. He was a good Yankee.
15-6, 3.82 ERA, 186 strikeouts.
You sure about that?
Yankee.
You sure about that?
I'm sure
He was a
about
good
what?
Yankee.
He wasn't bad.
I think he was like he wasn't a great Yankee. He wasn't Bernie Williams, but I mean like he was a good
He
I
wasn't
mean, like,
Andy Pettit, but
when he was in the pinstripes before the injury, I love James Paxton. I was like, yo, this guy's sick.
Yeah, he
Every,
had
like,
some good
Well,
moments.
yeah,
it's
every
good.
game I
It's
watched,
good.
I'm like,
Yeah,
this guy's sick. This guy's a good pitcher.
it's good. He's finding life,
Strikeout
though.
guy,
Yeah,
lefty, Canadian. What's not to love?
yeah. There you go. I'm glad he's finding life now with the
I
with the
wish this for
Boston
any
Red
other
Sox.
team, but hey, I got
James
root for the
Paxton
guy.
died? No, I'm kidding.
Hey, yo. All right, all right, all
Yeah,
right.
no, I'm glad he's got success. He seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
All-Star.
Hmm.
All
Now
right,
let's
What
get
you've
to
boys.
the
all
All
been waiting
Star. I guess
for.
I'll go first. So
Do it.
now,
I got my list up.
So
I got my
obviously
list ready
we'll
to go. For
go
some
AL
reason,
first, then NL, then we'll.
okay, all right.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
For some
I got
reason,
my
it didn't let
ballot.
me do pitching.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. It never does. The coaches pick that.
yeah.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting. So for my American League, for my first baseman, I have Vlad Guerrero.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. Okay. All right. That's not who I have.
Hey, we all think differently. I got Whitty Merrifield.
For
When I saw him,
second base?
Oh, that's a hot
you
take.
can say
Hot take.
what you want. Hey, you can say what you want. You can say what you
Keep
want. I
going.
mean, hey,
Witty.
I'm my own man. I'm my own analyst. Uh, for third base, I got Jose Ramirez.
Good pick.
Okay.
Right, that is a good. Okay, there you go. I redeemed myself.
This is the pick, right?
Every
Throw it
pick
up.
good. Every pick's been good.
For a shortstop, I got Bo Bichette. Because I just like the average, and when I saw him play against the Mets,
Very good
I
pick.
just like what he was playing. For catcher, I just went with Salvador Perez.
Yeah, it's a great pick too.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. He's been dominating at catcher for the Royals for a very long time. As much as he was, when he played against the Mets in 2015, I still got respect for him. For outfield, I got Yordan Alvarez.
Of course.
Yeah,
You
good
know,
pick.
gotta have it. And then for the that's for the outfield. And then I got Randy Rosarina, and I got the Yankee himself, Aaron Judge. As much as he was hurt, he was still dominating and insane before he got hurt. And yeah,
Who's your
and obviously
DH?
for you guys are gonna like this. Do you know who it is?
Otani.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. And so that's for the American League. And we'll discuss everything, but I want us to get all our picks just because our reactions right now are, I want to see. So Nick, I want you to go. Who do you got for the AL?
All right. So for for the American League at first base, call me a homer, but the stats don't lie.
That's
I went
crazy.
Anthony Rizzo at first base.
Stop.
I went Anthony Rizzo
Come on.
first. Second base, I went my boy Marcus Semien.
Me
Guys
too.
guys going
That's a
nuts.
good one. Yeah, I know he's been going off for
Third base,
Okay.
I went Jose Ramirez.
good pick. Good pick.
Shortstop, Bo Bichette was a great pick. I was torn between him, but man, this dude's slash line is just insane. Went Corey Seager. He is having a monster year. Batting
It's not ridiculous.
367,
It's not ridiculous to say that. No.
1.081 OPS. I know he was a little hurt, but dude, he's crushing.
Yeah.
And catcher, I'm very jealous that this team has him. Salvador Perez was a great pick. I was torn between him as well. But I went to Adley Rushman. I think I think this kid's gonna be a future MVP.
Me too.
He's sick, man. He's
Oh,
sick.
this is the guy from the Orioles, right? The
Yeah.
prospect that just got called up.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's sick. Outfield,
that's not bad.
Brandon, and designated hitter. I'm right there with you. I went Alvarez, Rosarina, Judge, and Otani.
I agree
Nice.
with
Good for
both
you.
of you guys on those four. All right, first baseman and DH from the Cleveland Guardians, Josh Naylor. What's up?
Okay.
What's up?
Okay.
And
Went
you
with
said come off
Josh
of Rizzo? Come
Naylor.
on.
Dude, Rizzo basically was unplayable for 3 weeks.
He was, but I mean, I think he's still got some of the best numbers among American League first baseman, man.
The RBIs that Naylor has is ridiculous. Second base, I went Marcus Semien.
Yeah, Semien.
I forget who second place was for me, but it was Marcus Semien. This one, not only did I have to deliberate, I went to Baseball Reference and did the player comparison to make sure I got it right. Bo Bichette over Corey Seager. What really stood out to me was Bo Bichette is leading the league in games played with 75. Corey Seager has only played in 42. So his ridiculous OPS plus and batting average to me kind of gets watered down from that. If you played 30 more games, actually 33 more games, is that going to be the same? Doubtful. So I just kind of thought that was a good line of delineation. Better defensive numbers for Bichette as well. Outfield, yeah. From here on out, we're exactly the same, Nick. Jordan, Randy, Aaron Judge, Adley at catcher, Otani at DH. So,
Nice.
and
Okay.
then should I kick off the National League?
Do it. We'll do
Go ahead.
snake.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Representing the New York Mets, he was hurt for 11 or missed 10 games, 10 days, whatever. Pete Alonso, Polar Bear Pete, welcome to the National League All-Star team.
That's a great pick.
Second base, Luis Arias, Mr. 400.
I like it.
Not even a debate. Third base, this is going to be a shocker. Ryan McMahon of the Colorado Rockies. Offensively, I think he's comparable to Arenado. Defensively, he's had a better season. Went with Ryan McMahon. Shortstop from the Reds, Matt McClain.
That's a good pick.
And then outfield, I blew it. I should have went with Acuna instead of this pick. Corbin Carroll was my first pick.
Wait, whoa. Wait, what do you mean you should have went for your first pick? What do you mean?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't mean the same.
I'm just doing it in the order I picked them in. I should have went with Acuna over Corbin Carroll. Nick Castellanos. I've been covering the Phillies all year for the Eastern Observer. Nick Castellanos is like a beast. He's dragged this team through some rough times.
I was torn between him. I was thinking of putting him in there. Yeah.
Juan Soto of the Padres, slow start, but he's been unreal the past month and a half. Catcher, I voted. I want to put this in as this is a heart pick, not a heart pick. It should be Sean Murphy. I went with Yan Gomes. The fact that he's this age and having like one of the best seasons of his career, I gotta show some love. Gotta show some respect to Yan.
I respect it.
And then DH Andrew McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen for me. I didn't see
bad.
any
I
of
like
the
that.
and none of the National League DHs blew me away. I thought it was all close. I went with Andrew McCutchen.
All right, so for my National League infield, first base, guy's just one of the best hitters year in, year out. Freddie Freeman, he's batting 324, 957 OPS. Guy's stud. We already know this. Second base, our boy, Luis Arias. There's no way I don't pick if you're hitting close to 400. If you're hitting close to 400, you're automatically. Third base, Nolan Arenado. I mean, 15 bombs, 800 OPS, 271 batting average. Platinum glove. Come on, I gotta say. For shortstop was a little tough for me, man. I didn't realize how kind of the National League shortstop is kind of watered down a little bit, but it's kind of a hot take. But I just chose him because he's batting 341. He's on the best team in the National League. I went with Arcea, shortstop for the Braves. Thought he was having a quiet year. And then another Braves pick. My catcher is Sean Murphy. Guy is just 280, batting 287, 920 OPS.
Yan Gomes wasn't tugging on your heartstrings.
Nah, not in the All-Star vote. No, but I am happy for him. Definitely happy for him. And then my outfield was Acuna. Come on, he's of course the MVP favorite. The rookie, Corbin Carroll. You can't. I don't care. He's a rookie. I don't care. There should be no debate. The kid's sick. He's batting 300, 964 OPS, 16 bombs, 40 ribbies. And then my boy, my favorite non-Yankee, saw him live earlier this year. Juan Soto, baby. He's one of the best hitters in this league right now. Will be for a long time. 902 OPS, 13 bombs, 37 ribbies. My DH, I was just looking for power here. He's got a whopping 21 home runs. Marlon, Jorge Soler, man. This guy is nuking this year. He's got tremendous power. Should be great for the All-Star game.
Okay. Um, not gonna lie, I'm not liking my National League. I don't feel like it's really as diverse as I thought it would be. Um, it's a little bit, some of it's a little biased, some of it's not. Obviously, first base, I got Pete Alonso. So why not?
Yeah, good pick.
Um, if not, I would have put Freddie Freeman.
That's how
Or
it
is
was
he
between those two for me.
right? If I had to go back, but no, I'll still put Pete. Pete's staying there. Second base, Luis Arias. That's the guy. That's no debate there. Third base, I put Brett Beatty. Maybe
That's a homer pick if I seen one.
That's insane.
that's yeah. Yeah.
I don't even
But like I said,
understand.
looking back, I would have changed it. I would have changed it. Maybe Arenado or something. But hey, you know what? I like the kid. I think the
Yeah,
kid's
no,
got
he's great.
potential
I
in the
love.
future. Maybe he's not an all star now, but he's got potential in the future.
Oh yeah, no, he'll be an
Is this
all-star.
the 2026 All Star ballot, buddy? I mean,
Damn, I see how it is. Now for
Brett
shortstop,
Beatty.
I save it for later. Now for shortstop, I got
Lindor.
uh no. That you
Jose
got to give me some
Reyes.
credit for that. What?
Jose Reyes.
Ahmed Rosario? No, okay. No. Yeah. You guys thought I was serious too. No, I got from the Braves, Arcia.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He's
having a
hitting
very quiet year.
341. How do you not put him in there? Now for catcher, I put Francisco Alvarez. To me, I think he's played great defensively. His average could be a little better, but he's made an impact from the Met. Like I've seen it, especially covering him. Like watching the games, watching the highlights. He's been all over the place, especially as a catcher. He's been tagging out runners. He's been doing great, in my opinion. And hopefully he keeps developing. Now for the outfield, I have Acuna. I have Mookie Betts, and then I have
Not a bad
Brandon.
pick.
I have Brandon Nimmo because Brandon Nimmo has carried the Mets low. Yeah, I have Nimmo. Yes, I have Brandon Nimmo.
That's crazy.
That's y'all put Anthony Rizzo in there.
I didn't put Anthony
I did.
Rizzo.
I mean,
Yeah,
That's
Rizzo
insane
has
to me too.
Rizzo's some of the best first baseman numbers this year.
So
Still,
I
I mean,
think
second only
Nimmo's
probably, but
defense and has been overlooked, and his offense is there. He was hitting like over 300 like in the beginning of the season. It's kind of dipped down a little bit, but his defense should not be overlooked.
I like
Now,
Nimmo. I do like Nimmo.
for designated hitter, I put Joey Meneses.
Okay, that's a good pick.
So, like I said, the ballot was kind of filled a lot by a lot of NL East players. Could be a little different, but then again, there'll be more players to come. But I just feel like I would change up a little bit if I could, but that's what I had in the National League. I don't regret anything. Boom.
no.
All
So
right.
those are
Very well
our
picked.
star picks. Any now, if you guys now quickly though, if you had to pick a pitcher, who do you think should start for both AL and NL?
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, Cole's definitely up there. Um, Shane McClanahan, Tampa Bay. He's been
Don't
sick
forget
for that.
Valdez.
Otani, I know he's considered
Evaldi.
DH, but I mean he's been really good too, pitching wise. Um, and then for the NL, I mean there's Spencer Strider, kid's a beast. The Braves just got everything right now. They just got everything.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah, no, but
but good
yeah,
for
I'd
them.
probably go
Good
Cole.
for
I
them.
mean, Cole's just a gamer. He's great for the all-star type vibe.
Yeah, I mean, what it's 5, right?
Yeah, 5. So
I'd go Eduardo Rodriguez, Garrett Cole, um, Evaldi.
I've always been
Was
great.
thinking to myself like I just said his name and I forget who he is already. McClanahan and are we really missing anybody? Oh, Zach Eflin from the
Oh yeah,
Rays. He's
Eflin's,
having a great season.
yeah, Eflin's
National
been good.
League, um, Kershaw. I'll go. Braxton Garrett's had a pretty good season, but I don't know if he would start. Spencer Strider definitely. Trying to think of who else is in that rotation. Man, I don't know.
Maybe Stroman.
Stroman, Smiley,
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
somebody from the Brewers. They're probably okay this year. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm like trying to think. I'm definitely missing some guys. Maybe Jesus Luzardo. He's had a good season.
yeah, Lazardo's been good.
So nobody from the
Yeah,
Phillies.
so I think my 5 from the American League like solidified because I only said 3. It's McClanahan, Cole, Framber Valdez is he's been killing it. Evaldi, so that's what? That's 4. Gosman's having a nice year. Yeah, I probably gotta go Gosman as my 5. Gosman's been nice.
Erod's having a great year, man.
Yeah, Erod is too. Erod is definitely up there.
I like that Wells kid. Shout out Tyler Wells from Baltimore.
For the NL, probably got to be Kershaw,
Of course.
Stroman, Strider, obviously. Zach Gallen.
Oh yeah.
Zach Gallen.
He's my
Zach
5th
Gallen.
pick.
He's been having a good one. I think that's 4 for me. And then a little under the radar year. Yeah, Wells has been good. I know it's AL, but Logan Webb. Webb's been pretty solid. That kid I love. He's got what? 3.11 ERA, already 96 Ks. Kid's a gamer. On a hot Giants team right now.
Yeah.
All right.
What about you, Brandon?
That I'm gonna have to get back to you on because I gotta settle more. I know I just thought I would have Cole. Valdez should be definitely in consideration. But that's I gotta think more for the NL. I don't know if I want Strider because I know he's not. I know the Mets rock him, and they do.
Yeah,
But-
dude, they own him.
They do own him.
That's nuts. Like
Yeah.
he's good against everybody else, and the second he goes to City Field, he just turns into me.
Well, I guess it really covers all the Battin and Chattin. What do you guys think?
I think we did a great job.
I think
See
so
everybody
too.
next week. Shaka.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Bad and Chattin' episode 6 here in the Eastern Observer. Obviously, my name is Brandon Gerard Natali. Here are my 2 good buddies, Nicholas A. File and Dennis Toohey. Thank you, everybody, and I hope everybody has a great night, and we see you next week.
See you later. See you next week.